This is what we have so far, and this is in our player. When you press the space bar to shoot, it first has to check and see what is selected before it shoots. If selected is 1, it shoots the yellow. If it's 2, it shoots the orange. And if it's 3, it hits the purple. However, when we play the game, we can only shoot the yellow because we have no way to change this. That's the problem, right? Because in the game start, we said selected equals 1. We never gave the player a way to switch bullets or switch items. So we're going to do that today. When they key press or key down, let's try that. Let's do Q and E because my movement's WASD. So let's do Q and E. So key down, letter E, and let's look at our variable again. It's called selected. So when I do E, we're going to do a little bit of code here. Okay. Let's bring a code box in here, maybe. Just kidding. Lost my toolbox. Found it. All right. Now, when they press the E key, we want to increase the selection number. So we could say this and say selected, and you notice it pops up as a variable because it is, in fact, a variable. We declared it as one before. We could say plus equals 1, which means, oops, add 1 to selected. Now that's great, except selected would go to 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then etc., right? So it should only go up 1 if what?
If it's, well, I'm going to have 5 yet, please.
Okay, so in mine it should only go up if it's a 1 or a 2. So we could put this inside of an if that says if selected is less than 3. Then, and I'm tabbing this in to have proper formatting, then it should add 1 to it. And if selected is something else, in other words, else, which means it's not less than 3, it should set selected to what? In other words, if it is 3 and I hit the E key, what should selected be equal to? Should go to 1, exactly, because you're at the top. So very simple logic, but that will keep it from going to 4. Now, we're going to copy this because we're going to do a very similar thing for the other one. I'm also going to, in my player, or yeah, I'll have to do it in the player. I want to draw the value of selected, but let's finish this. Key down. That'd be key press. Key down, you have to tap, I think. I might have that backwards, but
Key down, that means you hold it down.
I don't. If it's backwards, we can do a change event. I don't remember which is which. I might have that backwards, but so now when I press the Q key, that should go to the selection should move to the left a little bit, and it should only go to the left if it is what? Not on the left. If it should not be on the far left side. If it's greater than the left side, which is 1. So if selected is greater than 1, selected minus equals 1. Otherwise, in other words, if it was 1, it should go to the opposite side, whatever your max number is. Which, by the way, if we were good coders, we would, instead of using numbers, we would assign a variable to the max weapons count or something like that and use those so you could actually increase your weapons count as you develop the game. But for now, we'll just do a hard code of the numbers here. Now, we have no visual to tell the player what's happening. Also, we're changing the selected whether or not we even have weapons. So several things still need to take place. We need to tell the player that selection has changed through a visual, and we need to only move the selection if they in fact have that weapon. We've got some code. We need to have a draw event that is going to draw the selection box. So if we made these global, we could have our controller doing the selection box drawing. I'm going to put it inside of here. So inside of my draw event, I of course first have to draw myself or else pack will disappear. Oops. Draw self. Then I need to draw sprite, and inside of that I need to tell it what sprite, what subimage, and the X and the Y. So the sprite I want to draw is the selected box. SPR select box, yeah, that. Yeah, subimage 0 because there's only one. The X and the Y, I'm going to guess on this and say roughly here, 229, 631. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, Pack, where'd you go? There it is. What was it? I don't even remember what it was. Something along here. 250, 610, somewhere in there. Yeah, that'll work. Let's try that. And we're only going to draw it there if selected is equal to 1, we draw it there. Right? Just on the starting. Well, no, because you can change the selection now. And then we're going to change, oops. Where we draw that box based on what's selected. So the Y won't change, but the X will. So we'll do like 3 and 4. Probably not even close, but let's see what happens. There's our selection box. It's underneath, so we need to change the depth, first of all. And, ooh, there I hit the Q and the E. Oh, that looks horrible. Yeah, I want to change that event and the depth and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we want this to change into key pressed letter E, and this to change to key pressed letter Q, as well as
it doesn't matter what word you your drawing, does it? I already have some stuff in my drawing.
so the things that were wrong, I had to switch my key presses there so it doesn't cycle through so fast. I also set the depth on the draw event to a negative number so that it would be above everything else. Positive numbers are like how far below the surface you want it to be. So the positions are wrong, so ignore that. But I can't shoot. I can try to cycle through, but if I don't have the weapon, it doesn't help me much. So if I collect this, I can shoot this, even though it's not selected. We need to fix that. Oops. I still need some other ifs, don't I? It does switch weapon based on what I have selected. I just need to do an if so it doesn't shoot unless I have the weapon. That'd be the last part. So when we, oops, I moved the record window. When we press the space bar, what should happen? Well, we notice that if selected is 1 and global has yellow as 1, then create that. So all we need to do is say this. So if selected is 2 and you have the orange bazooka or whatever that is. Same thing for purple. You can't shoot it unless the variable has purple is equal to 1. And if that's true, then it shoots. Now let's try it out. Can't shoot anything. I can shoot that. Now when I switch to the orange, it doesn't shoot. And I switch to the purple, it doesn't shoot. Now I'm on purple, it doesn't shoot, but I have the orange. So I switch to the orange, and I have the orange. Now it'll shoot. Now when I switch to the purple, I can shoot the purple. Now I just have to switch my XY position of my selection box, and the inventory system is finished.